That's why he's got the job. I mean, the experienced ones, Fergal Keane, I've worked with him.
I've contributed 2 chapters to the book. One is on how to pay for the coronavirus control and the recovery afterwards. This is a critical issue because I think while there are many people who will put forward policy options, expenditure options, we think it's important that we should show how and where the money can come from to pay for not only the control measures, the measures to support society during the coronavirus emergency, but also to support a proper economic recovery at the end. So essentially we argue that the country needs a more progressive emphasis in taxation, shift a lot of the burden of taxation onto higher incomes, but not to do it so abruptly that one stifles the contributions that can be made to economic recovery. What we want is for principally the burden, the expenditure burden to be borne by borrowing, and then the borrowing to be supported by a modest increase in taxation. My other chapter is a chapter on how recovery how the economic recovery can take place. What I do in the first instance is to argue that the conservative recovery plans based on deregulation of the economy haven't worked. The current love affair between the present Conservative government and infrastructure works, I also think cannot work. There are sound reasons why it cannot work, and the principal reason is because of skills, and secondly because the kind of infrastructure works that that the government is talking about are works that rely on migrant labour, and our problem is not migrant labour, but it's a problem of long-term unemployment in particular regions, and secondly, improving the conditions of work of too many of the lower paid. So that needs to be addressed, and this is why I argue that we need to spend more on public services, social care in particular, and we need to, and this needs to be financed with a more progressive kind of taxation, and this has to be done through the state. It has to be done through the state because the state is accountable. The private sector isn't, and the private sector won't pick up the economy if the government is not prepared to put the money into the economy.